how are you all? This is episode 5 of Innerstrength, Innercise Live. Generally, these episodes stream live on a Monday evening. Last week, that didn't happen. So here is episode 5 for you live tonight, coming to your lounge room or wherever you are in this world on a Saturday. So tonight I want to talk about the first foundational steps of becoming functionally selfish. Please, if you're joining me, drop a note, say hi, send me some love, tell me where you're coming from. And if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay, feel free to ask any questions, anything like that as you go through going through the session or on the replay, whatever comes up for you. Please feel free to comment and tag me and I'll get back to you. I think I'll be able to see comments as they come through. My screen should be working, so we'll see how we go. So episode 5, the first steps, if you like, to becoming functionally selfish. So are you functionally selfish? Or would you like to even know what that means? And I think perhaps you said yes, didn't you? Perhaps more than once. Because here's the thing. When we don't learn how to be selfish, meaning, to own our personal power, if you like, to own our energy, to become more of who we are, then we're never going to develop a strong foundation, a foundation of self-identity, of self-control, self-awareness. Because times have changed. It's selfie time after all, right? Everyone's taking out their cameras and their phones and snapping selfies everywhere. And becoming more functionally selfish actually makes us more powerful, fulfilled, and whole. I think it's fascinating, that we can actually take selfies, the photos of ourselves at a time, really when a lot of us are taking care of needs and yet often failing to follow through and keep it up for real. So I'm so pleased that if you've made it this far, you've joined me and you're watching this masterclass, if you like, on becoming functionally selfish, or the foundational steps. So don't be selfish. I'm sure that's the expression that you've all heard. Everyone said it at some time. Whilst growing up, may have often heard the words, and even in our family environments, perhaps always we had to share with siblings and cousins, and even when you didn't feel like sharing, and if you didn't, that's right, you're called selfish. And this is really how I believe we learned that if we wanted to focus on ourselves, we were being selfish, and that was a bad thing. And this is what we've been brought up to think is normal. And in fact, it's when we aren't allowed to be selfish, to take care of ourselves, to express our needs, to have our needs met, that we become really selfish as a response to never having had those needs met in the first place. Isn't it good that things have changed? What do you think? I think it's good. I think it's good that times are changing. And here's a question for you. Do you think being selfish is a bad thing? I'd love to know. If we don't learn, like I said before, if we don't learn how to be functionally selfish. Hey, Abby, thank you for joining me. How are you? Hope you're having a good day. Then we really never, if we don't learn to become functionally selfish, we don't develop that strong foundation of our own self-identity, as well as the other 3 selves above. And you might say above, what is that? What does above mean? Well, what all those other 3 things are self-awareness, self-love, and self-control. For those of you that stick around to the end of this or look in the comments below, I'm going to be running a free 5-day challenge as well very soon about the first 5 steps to becoming functionally selfish. I'd love to invite you along to be my guest, if you like, and dig more into this as well. So just look for that coming out in the next week or so, it will be released. So what is functionally selfish? The art of becoming selfish without being selfish through self-awareness. Bit of a mouthful, isn't it? And that's what it is. It's becoming selfish without being selfish, as in shut down and keeping everything to yourself and holding it really tight. And we do this through building our self-awareness, that we're self-aware around certain things that we want in our life. Because when we're self-aware, we know what we need to channel our energy to create the outcome that we want for ourselves. There's a way to be selfish, which isn't bratty or snotty, or the way that perhaps we insist on being the most important person in the room. This is not what I'm talking about as becoming selfish in ways that exclude everyone else's needs and wants. That isn't the way to become functionally selfish. As our needs are always met through our energetic intention, we connect with others from a point of fulfillment and not from the point of being needy. And this I think is a beautiful thing, and really is one of the turning points that I notice in my clients, when they really realize that actually, if I do that, if I fill my own cup, I can help others and come from such a wonderful place of love and abundance. You see, we are always whole and complete, which creates feelings of confidence and joy inside us, and that expands really into every other area of life. Once you start connecting with these feelings, you'll be amazed at the ricochet, the ripple effect, if you like, that just rolls forward with it all. If we're in a state of receiving, not taking, we're being able to share with others easily and gracefully, because we share from our whole self. We can easily be both giver and receiver, giving from our abundance instead of trying to fill our needs any way that we can, and receiving effortlessly, because our intention opens us to receiving blessings, while fear really does shut us down. Interesting, that, isn't it? The fear shuts us down. Have you ever felt that? Have you ever felt or experienced something where you're so fearful that everything just shuts down? I'd love to know. I'm really curious. Feel free to share in the comments or PM me. We're consciously creating our reality, step by step, outcome by outcome. And as a selfish, self-aware person, we use this energy to get our needs fulfilled, which doesn't mean that we're out in front, we're grabbing things so no one else can get them first. Selfishness lets us see the world from a point of infinite abundance and unlimited possibility and potential. Whatever is right and best for us can be ours when we intend it as our outcome. Otherwise, we aren't interested. Do you get that? Do you understand what I mean? We use our energy to set strong boundaries that allow everything we need to connect with us in powerful ways. And from this point, it's like a confident power that we know. We have an innate knowing, something growing within us, that we will always be fulfilled. And in the joy of this, we allow ourselves to have. We don't ever feel isolated, abandoned, or unsupported. Because by being selfish, we're always whole and complete, fulfilled and fueled, if you like, filled full of what our heart desires. Often the question is, with myself and those I connect with, do we know what we desire? And that's a whole different conversation. So how is it, do you think, that we can be both selfish and generous? Isn't that two sides of a different scale? What do you think? Because again, like I say, as a selfish, self-aware person, we also don't engage in jealousy, in envy. We don't harbor feelings of lack. What others have becomes an option for us too. We can create that for ourselves if it's aligned with our intention and our outcome. But being selfish doesn't mean that we keep everything for ourselves either and never share. In fact, we can often afford to be more generous when we're selfish because we have more to give. Do you see that? I'd love to know. So is it time for you to become selfish? Interesting. Give me a yes in the comment box if it's time for you to become selfish. We're often told to be compassionate, to show empathy, to be more understanding with our family, our friends, our work colleagues. But are we denying ourselves the same virtues? And if we are, at what price is that? What does it cost us? Extending compassion involves 3 basic components for me. Number 1, it's noticing suffering. Number 2, it's being kind and caring in response to that suffering. And number 3 is offering a shared knowledge that imperfection is part of our human experience. I love that I'm perfectly imperfect, just the way that I am. I love it. My journey is real and raw, and I'm open to the learnings and the stumbles and the challenges that come my way every single day. Every morning that I wake up and breathe and listen to the birds, I'm grateful for whatever obstacles are going to come. Okay, so let me know, is it time for you to become functionally selfish? Give me a hell yes. Give me a hell yes in the comment box. I want to see. Love hearts, thumbs up, whatever it is for you. Give me a hell yes. Because what I developed is the 5 foundational steps, if you like, the way that you can become functionally selfish, the foundation to set the beginning. If this is a path that you really wish to be more of or travel more on. So that the 5 ways that you can become more selfish in your life. The first one is to be really clear about what is important to you and what you want. Are you clear? Do you know? Ask exactly what you want, not what you think you can get. What do you actually want? And don't worry about what anyone else says or thinks or says about it. You're responsible. You and you alone are responsible for what gets manifested in your life, period. So that's the first way. It's being clear on what's important to you and what you want. The second way is knowing what others have is available to you when you align yourself with it. There's enough for us all. There's an abundance of everything. And what attracts your attention is an invitation for you to set an intention about it. So what attracts your attention is an invitation to you, should you choose, to set an intention for it. These are so powerful, guys, these steps. They really are. I really hope that if you dig in this, you're going to join me on the 5-day free challenge, where we'll dig even further into this, each step at a time. Set strong, energetic boundaries. This is step number 3. My favorite is everybody in my life loves, honors, and respects me. And everything in my life is a source of love, peace, and joy. I use it daily, generally daily. Although having said that, as I speak it now, I realize over the last 2 or 3 weeks, I perhaps have not used it daily. And that could be why I've had some of the feelings and emotions come up for me personally. Whatever the energetic boundary that you have, I really encourage you to use it daily. It helps to manage your boundary, to keep your energy flowing toward your intention. It really does. It's such a powerful thing. And the 4th way is to release what doesn't serve you or make you happy. If it isn't a source of joy, then it isn't something you're aligned with. Let it go so something else can take its place. And the 5th way is realizing that you aren't hurting anyone else by being selfish or taking care of yourself and fulfilling your needs. You're not hurting anyone. Everyone else, including you, are responsible for your own joy and abundance. No one else is responsible for you. Nobody. But when you take care of yourself and show everyone else how confident and happy and at peace you are, guess what? You set an example that they can follow. So set next intention to be selfish, to take care of yourself and be an example for others to follow. Will you do that? Give me a hell yes again in the box, in the comments. Show me some love, a thumbs up, whatever it happens to be. Let me tell you a secret. Shh. I need you to lean in for this one. Really listen. Are you listening? It's a secret. I have to whisper. Selfishness is not only a good thing, it's the key. It's the key to healing our world. That's right. You heard me. Why, I hear you ask. I can hear you. I can hear you asking why. It's simple, really. Who benefits? When you're taking care of you, when you feel good in your body, perhaps when you're exercising, for me that's gardening, being in nature, eating well, having an organized fridge. What you see is what you eat, after all, so my health coach tells me. When you're doing your personal growth work, I can guarantee you this thing, it isn't just for you. Your family, your friends, your co-workers, your clients, your kids, your students, even your animals, everything. It's for everyone. I don't know about you, but when I feel good, I'm nicer. I'm more patient, more loving, and easier to be around. So could it be that being selfish, taking care of you first, can actually benefit everyone in your life? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. When you feel good, they feel good. When I come home, or come in from being gardening or getting a massage, or when I was doing some yoga, out for a walk, lunch with a friend, or anything else that fills me up, that fills up my cup, I have so much more to give when I come home. So much more to give everyone else in my life. It's a win-win all round. It really is. So let's start to value taking care of ourselves, shall we? Who's in? Are you in? Have I convinced you? Because when we give from a place of fullness or abundance, it's much more appealing to the recipient than from a place of lack and emptiness, depletion. So let's redefine selfish. Are you going to help me? Okay, I'm going to run. I was going to say that, yes, I'm off for a massage, got to go. That was being selfish, right? You get it? What I really love you to do is think of 3 people in your life who'd benefit from self-care, from your self-care. And please share with someone who is always giving too much and not being selfish enough. From the time we're young, we're taught to share, to be generous, to be thankful, to care about others. As women generally, and men, but more dominantly in women, it's what the world expects, that we are these caring beings that love and nurture others, often to the expense of ourselves. Because no one knows better than you. Nobody knows better than you what helps you de-stress and tap into that place of peace inside yourself. No one knows better than you do. It's important for you to create your very own GPS guide. That map or that route to get there. Your guide to becoming functionally selfish. We're all unique. And the 5 steps, this 5 3-day challenge that I'm going to run and take you through, will help you devise your own GPS guide. I'm so confident in that. It's 5 days. 5 days of your life. And it's not even 5 days. It's, in my experience, if you're scratching the surface, you'll spend 10 minutes a day. If you want some real lasting results and you really do want to connect to your own self-love, self-care, self-awareness, self-control, self-identity, if you really want to start this functional selfish journey, it might take you half an hour a day to dig in a little bit deeper, to really have a good foundational start to these steps. It's all your choice. If being selfish still sounds bad, wrong, or uncomfortable, I want you to think about something. I want you to think of the last time you gave someone something. How good did it feel to give? Whether it was a compliment, a gift, a lift, or just a smile? Did it fill you up to give to someone else? I know for me it does. I often go out and have in my mind the intention that I will smile at 12 people, 20 people, whatever the numbers I pick for the day before I come home. I don't allow myself to come home until I've smiled and engaged. No words are necessary. Perhaps I've done a random act of kindness, whatever it happens to be. Often go into coffee shops, pay for 10 cups of coffee for the next 10 people that walk in after me. I don't need to know. They don't need to know. It's a random gift to make someone's life, someone's day a little bit better, to bring a smile, to lift the mood. Of course, it feels amazing to give. So with that in mind, how could you deny someone else the opportunity to give to you? Does that mean I have to receive? Or you have to receive? I think so. And this was a huge thing for me. I could not let people in. I had to be the one always giving. I didn't want anything. I didn't expect anything. That was not what it was about. But be it a compliment, a gift, a lift, or just a smile, you learning how to receive, to say yes, to say thank you, is a gift to someone else. And why would you want to rob them of that beautiful gift, that uplifting energy and love that they feel inside them, like you feel when you give to another? So let's redefine selfish right here, right now. I used to spend so much time reacting and responding to everything else that my life had no direction. Other people's lives, problems, and wants set the course for my life. Once I realized and accepted and acknowledged that it was okay for me to think about and identify what I wanted, poof, magic wand, tiara, things began to take place and change in my life as well. I came to this realization several years ago now. And I believe that to be happy myself, I simply couldn't float around on the happiness of those around me. I know that now to be true. But for so long, I externalized my happiness. I externalized how I felt about myself and the happiness inside of me, dependent upon how happy I made others. And I now see that life like that, it just doesn't work this way. It doesn't work that way. It's an inside-out journey. This is what I say. It's like the old analogy that we all know. It's in my book as well. When the flight attendant, in the event of an emergency, instructs us to put an oxygen mask securely on our own face before aiding even our own children. This concept was never intuitive to me before. But shit, now I understand it. It's a basic survival skill, a prerequisite for happiness. It really is. Before extending happiness beyond my own person, beyond me, I must first offer it to myself. Human disposition's cruel, hey? It really is. Sometimes we beat ourselves up for faults, big and small. We're our own worst critic. After all, and we need to be our best self if we're to thrive. If we're to attain and maintain success we work so hard to achieve. Is it true? I question that. By showing myself compassion, by choosing to understand and to accept my own pain, by choosing to say goodbye to traditional values that were no longer serving me, I made the most unselfish choice of all. I chose to love me. All of me. Hashtag 50 shades of grey. The good, the bad, and the ugly. All the shades of me. And today I'm honored and grateful to be doing what I love. building my coaching business, serving others from a place of love. Compassion, true self-compassion, recognizes that the human condition is imperfect. By making space for the imperfect, to recognize that we won't always be able to hold it together. We're better able to feel connected to others when we fail or go through a period of suffering. I've had that this last week. This is why this session is happening today and not on Monday. Then rather than feel separate or isolated because we somehow tell ourselves that we missed the mark, we gave ourselves the space. I gave myself the space to accept and to understand that sometimes I need to be patient and kind with me too. It goes without saying that, we can't give what we don't have. Learning to show compassion to ourselves by safely securing our own oxygen mask first, put that mask on, by making our own happiness and well-being a priority, we allow ourselves to tap in to our source of energy. Our human family deserves our full attention. Our fur family deserves our full attention, not some dimly lit, overly stressed, emotionally taxed version of ourselves. If you are sacrificing yourself to make others happy, as I did, you won't have any meaningful energy, the energy that matters, left to share with those around you. So if you're self-sacrificing, if you're people-pleasing, if you're sacrificing yourself to make others happy, I've got 2 words for you. Stop it. Being selfish by putting your needs first is truly the most unselfish thing you can do if you want to show up as your most powerful and productive self. So I'm going to leave it here. I hope that you've enjoyed this class. You've watched the replay. You have lots of questions for me. Please, please put them in the comments. And look out for the challenge. Look out for the free 5-day challenge that's coming as we dig deeper into these functionally selfish steps. So till next time, remember, what do I say? Can you listen? Can you hear? Can I hear you? Nope. Be your own best friend. Do whatever it takes. So I'll see you on Monday night, 5 o'clock, for the next episode 6, where, should you choose to, you get to come on live and ask me anything at all. Bye for now.